Hello, health champions! Today I'm going to talk about the top 10 foods that destroy your heart. And it's extremely important to understand this because cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer in the world. 18 million people die from it every year globally, twice as many as the second leading cause, cancer. That number includes both heart attacks and strokes. A heart attack happens when the heart doesn't get enough oxygen, while a stroke can be caused by a blood clot in the brain or bleeding inside the brain. So both conditions fall under cardiovascular disease. There is almost no disagreement that heart disease is caused by food, by our lifestyle, and the way we eat. However, people cannot agree on which foods cause the problem, and that is exactly what we're going to clarify today. Before listing the foods, we must understand the mechanism behind heart disease, otherwise we fall into the trap of believing every random list we see online. If you Google foods that cause heart disease, among 759 million results, the top answer says saturated fat is bad because it raises LDL cholesterol. But that is outdated, misunderstood science. People who eat high-quality saturated fats actually live longer and do not develop heart disease. Meanwhile, foods like cakes and cookies, often placed casually at the end of those bad food lists, contain processed, partially hydrogenated vegetable oils, sugar, preservatives, and modern wheat that truly damage the body. To understand the real causes of heart disease once and for all, we start from the bottom, the foods, and work all the way up to the actual mechanism of damage. Cardiovascular disease happens because blood vessels become damaged. The two main forces that damage arteries are chronic inflammation, oxidative stress, and the #1 driver of both inflammation and oxidative stress is insulin resistance. Now that we understand the chain of causation, we can classify the 10 biggest dietary causes of cardiovascular disease. The 10 major dietary causes of heart disease. 1. Rice excess carbohydrates, glucose spikes, insulin resistance. Rice isn't as bad as other foods, but it becomes harmful when overconsumed. All carbohydrates ultimately break down into glucose. Starches in rice, potatoes, grains, and legumes are basically 100% glucose, which spikes blood sugar and drives insulin levels up. In moderation or in a traditional lifestyle, low food availability, high physical work, rice wasn't a problem. But combined with modern processed foods, sugar, and sedentary lifestyle, rice contributes to insulin resistance and prevents metabolic recovery. 2. Bread and modern wheat products. Everything said about rice applies to bread, but bread is worse. Modern wheat increases glucose load, inflammation, gut issues, gluten intolerance. Even gluten-free bread is still 100% starch, rice flour, tapioca flour, sorghum, etc. Bread is one of the most insulin-spiking foods in the modern diet. 3. Sugar in all its forms. Many people think brown sugar, honey, agave, molasses, dextrose, maple syrup, and glucose syrup are healthier, but they all break down into glucose and fructose. Fructose behaves almost exactly like alcohol. Only the liver can process it. Excess causes fatty liver, which leads to severe insulin resistance. Sugar is addictive, hidden everywhere, and a major driver of metabolic disease. 4. Fruit, when metabolism is already damaged. Fruit isn't bad by itself, but people with insulin resistance or diabetes must minimize it. Fruit sugar equals glucose plus fructose. Healthy individuals can have some fruit. People with poor metabolic health should limit fruit, especially sweet fruits, and choose only small amounts of berries. 5. Alcohol. Alcohol overwhelms the liver because only the liver can detoxify it. A little occasionally is fine. A bottle a day is extremely damaging. The worst forms, sweetened cocktails are alcohol plus sugar equals double liver overload. Beer, high carbs. Better options if you choose to drink distilled spirits or dry wine. Lower sugar. Fatty liver used to be caused mainly by alcohol. Today, fructose is an even bigger cause than alcohol. 6. Ultra-processed foods. Ultra-processed foods make up over 70% of calories consumed in the US. They contain sugar, refined grains, preservatives, flavor chemicals, addictive additives, hydrogenated oils. These foods are engineered for taste, long shelf life, and low cost, not for health. They overload the body, cause nutrient deficiencies, and drive insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome. 7. Fast food meals. Fast food is a perfect storm. Buns equals pure starch. Sauces equals sugar plus seed oils. Fried foods equals damaged oils. Soda equals massive sugar. Shakes equals even more sugar. A typical fast food meal can exceed 150 grams of added sugar and over 300 grams of carbs per day, pushing the body directly into metabolic dysfunction. 8. Seed oils, vegetable oils. Many confuse plant oils, but not all plant oils are the same. The harmful ones are industrial seed oils, soybean oil, corn oil, canola oil. These oils are high in omega-6, which becomes inflammatory when out of balance. They are also extracted with high heat, pressure, and often chemical solvents, causing oxidation and rancidity before the oil even reaches your plate. These damaged oils contribute heavily to inflammation, oxidative stress, endothelial damage, heart disease. 9. Partially hydrogenated oils and trans fats, found especially in bakery products, pastries, cookies, some margarine, shortening. These artificial fats are extremely toxic, inflammatory, and strongly linked to heart disease. 10. Processed snacks and baked goods. Cakes, cookies, crackers, chips, cereal bars contain sugar, refined starches, seed oils, preservatives, artificial flavors. They combine all the worst ingredients, making them one of the most harmful categories for metabolic health and cardiovascular risk. Conclusion. Heart disease does not start with saturated fat or natural animal foods. The real drivers are insulin resistance, inflammation, oxidative stress, caused primarily by modern processed foods, sugars, refined carbs, and industrial oils. If we remove the 10 major culprits above, the body can finally heal, reduce insulin resistance, and reverse much of the metabolic damage.